So I changed this def tank heater like I've done in the past a couple of times, and it all went in pretty well. I didn't really have any issues. I changed the heater for an open code for the reductant heater A, and I ohm checked it, and it was, I don't know, 31,000 kilo ohms, or 31,000 ohms, or 31 kilo ohms, whatever it was too high. It's supposed to be like, I think like half an ohm to 1.5, or 1.5 to 2. I'm not exactly sure at the moment, but so it was high. So I changed out that tank sender, and then I was getting a code P0 or P20E8 for low def pressure. So I checked it, got reductant line pressure, and I was only getting like 30 pounds. Sometimes it go to 40. It was kind of erratic. It would work sometimes, and then other times it wouldn't. It was up and down. I took the tank heater back out, or the sender back out. I cleaned it, and put it back in. I blew it out and made sure nothing was clogged and there weren't any issues, and I was getting air traveling through, and things weren't, the line wasn't pinched. So I checked all that. I checked for my 5-volt reference on my pressure sensor, and I also jumped the 5-volt reference to the signal line, and I monitored the reductant line pressure, and I saw that it went up, it went down, it did what it was supposed to do. I didn't lose the 5-volt reference. So I knew that the pressure sensor was working right, or I knew that it had what it needed to have to work right. I believe that this truck, it's a 2012 f550 that I was just putting the transmission flex plate in. This only has one pressure sensor on it. I believe I've heard some people say they have 2 pressure sensors, one at the def injector and then one at the injection pump. This one does not, that I believe, because it's just like a 2-foot line, and it goes into the injector, and unless there's a sensor in the injector, which I don't think there is, then this would be the only pressure sensor. So basically it gets the pressure from the injector up to this. I removed the def injector. I took it out of the exhaust, and I just set it to the side, and I ran it, and then I verified that I was getting my reductant pump duty command. I was running at 80%, and I wasn't building the pressure right. It would build it to like 40 or 30, and like I say, it was kind of erratic. It was up and down. I tried repriming the pump. It didn't have any change. Like I say, the def injector wasn't leaking, because if that's stuck open or there's something in there, then it could be leaking, and you're not building pressure because it's just pumping it out. That wasn't the problem either. I tried changing the new O-rings and stuff on there, and none of this stuff made a difference. So ultimately, I was messing around with it all day. I put the pump and tank in and out 3 or 4 times. So finally I just settled on it's the pump. So I went to run it the last time. I had it on. It had a reductant command of 80%, and I took the line off, and nothing came out, nothing did anything. It wasn't building any pressure. So I think maybe it was just a coincidence that it was going at the same time. So anyway, changed the pump. I'm getting my 72 PSI. I believe the code sets if it doesn't reach 51 pounds of pressure. Yeah, if it doesn't reach 51 PSI within 45 seconds of the reductant being commanded on, then it will throw that code. So I started it up. I ran it at a high idle until it warmed up to the point where it came on. Reductant kicked on to 80%, and the line pressure just climbed right up to 73 like it usually does. And so I believe it's working. At least it's working enough for me to say that well, I mean, I could rule out the pump just based on the fact that it's working now. It did what it did, what it was supposed to do. So unless I got a wiring issue that for some weird reason I now have making connection that I didn't have connecting before, then I'm going to say it was the pump. It could be also a restriction. So if you get like the hose pinched or the filters clogged on the sender, at the bottom of the sender, then that could be a problem too. But I took that all apart and made sure nothing was clogged, nothing was didn't have any crystals or anything in there. And yeah, so I mean, ultimately I think it was the pump. My next step was going to be hooking a scope up to the pump supply line, not the supply lines, but the voltage, the power lines to the pump. I was going to back probe those and put a scope on there and actually check for the voltage I needed and that it was being commanded at the 80%. So I was going to actually verify that I was getting the power to it. But I mean, it turned on and it worked. So I'll shut it off. Turn it back on. So all our pressures will drop. So basically, I think everything's got to be up to whatever temperature it needs to be up to for the def injector to actually start pumping. So I mean, it won't go right away. So the sitting voltage of 0 is 0.49 volts. If you unplug that pressure sensor, you're going to throw a code for, I think, low pressure. But it did put this truck into D rate or whatever it is, so it was going to be limited to 50 miles an hour in 50 miles. So be careful unplugging stuff like that, because you might put yourself into a D rate mode where you have to get it out of it. And it's kind of like a drive cycle that you use to get it out of it. So anyway, so to verify this, I was waiting for the pump cycle duty command. I think it'll only go to 80%. I think anything above that is for testing purposes, but this would only go to 80%. So I don't look for it to go to 100. So get some heat into this to get up the temperature. I think the pump is $377, at least for us. So it's not something you want to just pull the trigger on if it's not correct. So basically I'm just waiting for the duty command to come up, and then I'm going to look for the reductant line pressure to come up. Got our 80%. Watch our pressure climb, and as you can see, it climbed right up. I think with the other pump on there, it was coming up, and it was barely just crawling. I mean, I don't think obviously it wasn't making the pressure in time. You can see it shot right up to 70, and then the duty command went down to 14. It was running about 80% like the whole time just to keep it up, and it was kind of fluctuating. I think it might have went down to 50% to hold the 70 the one time that it was actually up there. So I don't know if something got in there. I tried back flushing it. It's whatever it was. It wasn't taking a repair. I don't think anything got into it because I mean I keep it obviously with the holes down. It went pretty quick, so it's not like things got crystallized. And I'm sure I did a test with the old sender because I wanted to see if you could re-solidify the, or whatever you want, whatever word you want to use for it. I wanted to see if I could get the crystals to dissolve, and I just put some water in it, and I just switched it around, and they re-dissolved back into the water. So I don't think it's something that you get and then it just stays there forever. I'm pretty sure you can flush it out. So I know from what I had done with the sample I had, that's what I did, and it worked. So won't you say that this is fixed now, and I will put the tank back in because I still got it just sitting there because I didn't want to put it back in a fourth time. I have to get it back out, so I've been kind of just running it like that. I sealed up the hole so I wasn't getting air in there. But so we'll stick the tank back in, get that going. In the midst, or between the time of me checking the code initially, where I had the reductant heater A code, and then doing the other work that I did on this where I changed that, I got a second code for EGR flow, so it's probably going to need an EGR cooler rebuilt as well. I think this says 77,000 miles on it, so it's going to need a little bit of work. I have to change out the door switch, I believe. I haven't really looked into it, but I think just the door switch is bad. Either that or the wire and the door flex is bad. But the interior light doesn't want to go out sometimes, and then the radios doesn't want to go off with this door. I have to open up the other one. And then the door jar light was beeping. So gonna have to do a little bit more work on this one. Anyway, I hope that can help somebody. If not, let me know what I did wrong, and thank you for watching.